By the mid-1700s, Thomas Fuller had gained a reputation in Virginia for his astonishing mental calculations. He could add, subtract, multiply, and divide enormous numbers with unparalleled speed, and most notably, he could determine problems involving time and space that seemed impossible to compute without pen, paper, or device. For example, when asked how many seconds a man who had lived 70 years, 17 days, and 12 hours had lived, Fuller answered in less than 2 minutes, 2,210,500,800. His answer was later verified to be exact. When skeptics sought to trip him up by introducing complicated mathematical tricks, he still produced flawless results. He would even correct those who had miscalculated, proving not only his accuracy, but also his ability to detect flaws in the reasoning of others. What is most astonishing is that Fuller, who never received any formal education, relied purely on his mental capacity, memory, and instinctive mastery of numbers. His talent baffled European and American intellectuals alike, many of whom had come to believe that black people were inherently less intelligent. Fuller's story spread far beyond Virginia, as newspapers and pamphlets across the colonies and Europe began to recount his feats. In 1789, shortly before his death, his genius was documented by anti-slavery campaigners seeking to dismantle racist notions of African inferiority. These campaigners used Fuller as an example of intellectual excellence that could not be explained away. In England, members of the abolitionist movement pointed to Fuller's mental power as evidence that the institution of slavery was built on lies about human capacity. To them, he was living proof that the intellectual potential of Africans was no less than that of Europeans. His fame thus became tied to the broader struggle for black humanity and liberation, his mind becoming a weapon against the narratives that justified bondage. The fascinating element of Fuller's genius lies not only in his extraordinary talent, but also in how his brain worked. Long before the modern study of savant syndrome or cognitive science, observers noticed that his memory and numerical reasoning worked in ways that seemed beyond ordinary comprehension. He did not use traditional Western notation or methods of calculation, but rather drew upon his own mental structures, often describing problems in terms of patterns and relationships rather than step-by-step arithmetic. His process was not recorded in detail, leaving historians to speculate, but it is likely that Fuller utilized techniques similar to what mathematicians today call mental chunking or modular arithmetic. What separates him from modern-day speed calculators, however, is that Fuller never had training, never studied mathematics formally, and yet could achieve results that rivaled and at times surpassed mechanical devices of his era.